Hey people, this is Ashley with Music After Dark HTX. This is a Friday edition. It's crazy, like it's so quiet here. It's nuts, dude. It's blowing my mind really how quiet this place is. So this is super fun. I am, in case you don't know who these people are, I'm going to point to them and have them introduce themselves and the name of their band. And let's start with you.
I'm Bass.
Bass?
I'm the bassist.
Bassist.
I'm John, guitar player.
Guitar player.
I'm Omar. I play drums and I do vocals, and we are Mizaki.
Okay, how do you pronounce it?
Mizaki. Mizaki.
Okay, what does it mean? Is there a meaning behind it?
It's a meaning term for spirits and demons, creature-like. So it could be a representation of a ghoul, of someone that's sad or angry, or a creature. It could be pretty much anything.
It's
Dude,
like
I
God's
always thought of
demons
it like
as well.
premonitions or like spirit-like entities in Japanese folklore.
Yeah, like gods and demons.
How did y'all come up with that? Who came up with that name?
I had a friend. I was hanging out with a friend of mine. Would be like in my old back patio where I used to live out with my dad at the time. Smoke up and like come up with like new band names because we used to be under another name entitled Jiki Inky, which was spelled in a really crazy way. But
All the same members, you guys?
me and John are the only two like
Oh, okay.
founding members.
Bass was a incarnation of it too, but
Yeah, like I came in right at the end of the Jiki Niki days.
Yeah.
that's a harder name to say.
Yeah. Mizaki's not much better.
The only reason why I chose that name, we chose the name of it because it was like an attention getter, thinking like you might get something out of it. Because sometimes a band name is what really kind of like it's like a hit or miss tracks to it.
That's true. I can
Like,
see that.
because even something even back in the day, like even bands like
I can see that.
Korn, for example, it was considered a dumb name, but when a band gets established by it, makes the name kick ass.
Okay, so is that the why y'all's logo looks like it does? Because I talked about this with I think Apex Fallen. It's like looks like string cheese a lot of bands now, and it's like y'all do it on purpose.
I have a friend of mine from another band called Hate Waker named Ricky. He actually did our design for it.
Oh, okay.
I told him, I asked him, like, give us a few design versions of the logo. I asked him if he create a logo for us. So I gotcha. And he sent us like 3 versions of the copies, and we chose one that really hit well.
Yeah.
But then a friend of mine, John Rios, he's also a beat maker. He also kind of like helped me find the name, which we were going through like Japanese things. Like for me, I'm a huge anime fan. So I always like to pick something that's anime related than heavy metal because I feel like heavy music needs to be in anime more. Just like when you have Pantera's music playing in the background, Dragon Ball Z, Deftones, Drowning Pool, it was shit.
We're trying to make shirts that the Kardashians can wear.
Oh, okay.
So they don't know who we are, but they're wearing our shirts. So they're representing us on the streets.
Dude, I love it. Okay, so how long has this band been together?
As a band Mizaki, we've
Yeah.
been around since 2021.
Okay, so like right after COVID.
Yeah, right after COVID. Yeah,
We started jamming like probably during COVID.
Okay, I think a lot of bands
So
actually
you
kind of.
Jigniki got sick during COVID and mutated to Mizaki.
There you go.
Dude, I love that.
I like that.
I love
The
that.
Cure was the jam.
Or like Goku just getting pissed, like nothing's right, just evolved to a new name or so, like Super Saiyan, which is Mizaki.
Dude, I love it.
Okay.
So how did you join the band?
So I wasn't playing in any bands prior. I actually moved out here from West Texas.
Okay, so you were not a Houstonian.
Not original Houstonian, no.
Hmm?
Okay, I'm not either.
Yeah, so I came out here from the Midland, Odessa area probably about 8 years ago now. At that point, I was kind of burnt out on playing music. I didn't think I was going to play in any more bands, so I sold all my gear. Yeah.
So you were in bands back in like Midland, Odessa? That's cool.
I played guitar back home.
What's the music scene like out there?
It's tiny.
It's tiny. It's like all oil fields and shit, right? Like,
Yeah, but I mean, like all those oil field dudes have kids, and like they all go to high school together. So there's a small like tight knit music scene.
oh, okay.
There's still a couple of bands from when I was jamming that are still together, but for the most part, a lot of them just kind of mutate into other bands. Like members will like break up one project and start another one, form like a super group of sorts.
Damn, that's cool. So you're here, you sold all your gear,
Sold all my gear.
and then you're like bored, and you're like, shit, I want to be in a band again.
I always kind of had the itch, like, 'cause I was still playing. Like, I kept a couple of guitars just so I could, like, improve myself, And at work, I met this girl who introduced me to John Rios, and he told me about these guys that were trying to start a band, but they needed a bass player. I was like, well, I don't know much about playing bass, but I can play guitar. But, like, how hard can it be?
Is it hard? Is it a big difference? I do not play an instrument.
A little bit. Like, there's a bit of a learning curve. The neck's longer. Some people frown upon me using a pick, but since I'm a guitar player first,
There's a saying, is like, if you can play guitar, you can play bass. Which is pretty true, but at the same time, like what he said, it's a learning curve.
It's interesting.
Because you're working with like a few fingers instead of like all your fingers.
Yeah, and you're also figuring out where you fit into the mix as opposed to a guitar. Guitars are like very mid-heavy. They play a lot of riffs, whereas the bass kind of sits more like in the rhythm section of the drums. So you kind of feel the groove. It's definitely like an instrument more based on feel. So that was a learning curve for me.
That's cool.
When I first started jamming with them, they had equipment that I could use since I didn't have any of my own.
Poor guy.
So with my first stimulus check, I went and bought a bass.
Yeah, I was gonna say we have a ton of pawn shops. So we have a ton of pawn shops here. You probably could have found something.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, those were good times. I bought my orange can. My stimulus check. Depends on who says it.
That's funny, the good old days. So where did you guys start playing, like where you guys had played before? Like, where do y'all play at? 19th hole, I'm assuming. BFE.
We played
Scout Bar, any venue that's open to playing to booking bands. Because for us, we would like to try to play every venue, anything possible, especially if we have to do DIY shows.
You guys are also on the south side, so that's,
Yes, I got a
Yeah,
south
yeah,
side
yeah,
band
yeah.
up here on the north side.
We played Winners, like literally like 2 minutes from.
Not even 2 minutes, maybe like under a minute.
it's a
Yeah.
hop, skip, and a jump from your apartment.
Yeah. That was pretty cool. Yeah.
In walking distance, like 10 minutes, maybe 10 minutes.
Dude, that's where
tops.
I'm gonna be tomorrow. In Winters.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
BFE's is like 5 minutes down the road from my place.
See, that's
So
crazy.
we have
That's so crazy. You're so spread out. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Houston is so
Yeah.
just.
In the beginning, I used to have to drive out to record to jam with them.
And we've done some out of town shows too. We played in Austin, Dallas.
What was that like? Where'd y'all play in Austin?
We played at the Come and Take It.
Okay, that was pretty much.
That
I
was a really
think
cool venue. That
Really
was my
cool
first time
venue.
playing in
I've
Austin.
heard that. I've never been there, but a lot of people seem to like. That's usually their first place they play at in Austin. So shout out to them for welcoming like Houston people. Honestly.
Yeah.
We've been trying to go back to Austin, but we just don't know how to really connect with to get shows in Austin. It's unless we have to know someone really hopping there easily. But there's probably other bands that will accept bands from out of town.
Is that how you think most people get shows now? Like, are you having to go through like a booking agent? Are you guys able to book through just someone at the venue yourself?
We tried.
It's mostly
Or is
really,
it like friends that you've met on other shows that are like, hey, come play with us on this one?
Yeah, pretty much. It's
That's
crazy, though.
really how it's been so far. It's just
Yeah.
hopping on shows with our friends.
That's cool though, right?
They're very DIY in that respect.
Yeah. There was actually a venue that actually hit us up before TikTok got purposely shut down for like 2 seconds. They actually hit us up. It's like, hey, call me before this page goes down. And it was like 12th Street, I think.
Really like Huntsville?
Yeah, in Huntsville. And then they found us on there. It's like, where's these guys from? From Houston. Give me a call, book a show, and then that's where it happened. So we'll be there definitely in the spring.
That's cool. That'll be cool.
First time playing in Huntsville.
Yeah, have fun with that drive.
I'm gonna do a drive in my spare time. Drive 8 hours a day, so it shouldn't be too bad for me.
As long as they have a Buc-ee's.
I don't know if there is. I think there is actually one. Yeah, the Waller, I think, right? If
It'd be
you.
a crime if you
Yeah, like
I
I think it's like
they
past
just
Huntsville.
As long as
Anytime I went to the
beef
state park,
jerky.
it was like, make sure you stop at Bookies first. There's not
Oh,
one in the way.
shoot, yeah, there might not be one. That's crazy. What would we do without Buc-ee's?
Quick Trip or Shell.
Darn it, I won't get my beaver nuggets.
Off-brand beaver nuggets.
Oh, I love it.
Uh,
Yeah, come on,
that's,
Buc-ee's, sponsor me, dude. Totally, you should totally sponsor this podcast. We'll like strategically place beaver nuggets like everywhere in the
Right.
background.
You should start a
Just-
podcast for
I
Buggies.
should, dude. They were like, I
They'll be
should,
there
dude.
too. Yeah.
Because you can be there all the time, right? Like they're open
Exactly.
24/7. So that's interesting.
Who's to say we look like troopers, right? Him and I.
So,
I'm not even
what
interested.
kind of like sound or genre would you guys say your music fits into, or cross genres? Because I don't really think there's like one anymore.
There's
I think
everything.
everything just
The
cowboy
lines are
cartel,
blurred now.
everything just meshes together.
To get out of the way, metal is basically the first time most everyone starts with, but we also have other subgenres we like to mix with as well with alternative, punk, hard rock, new metal, groove, black metal, anything that fits in our mood and we drive for it.
Basically, we want to say if we can do it, we're gonna do it.
Yeah.
Like, if we have the capability, like we'd say we're pretty much genreless. Like, who knows?
I think we say that just because we all come from kind of similar but unique backgrounds.
Yeah, let's talk about that. So you're from West Texas, right? Does your family, are they supportive of you like being in music, or
I don't want to say they're not supportive.
Okay.
they're not thrilled about it.
you're like, God, I hope he outgrows this hobby soon, right? Like outgrows this phase. So have they ever been to a show? Have your folks ever been to a show?
No, they haven't. My mom will comment on my stuff on Facebook sometimes.
That's
So,
that's cool.
usually she's probably the most supportive out of the two.
That's cool.
Yeah, mine, they're supportive, but they're also like, don't quit your day job at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is like, what are you saying? My music sucks. But no, they've been at the shows and everything.
Oh, they've been to shows and stuff. That's cool.
Yeah.
What about you?
My family hates metal, but I do try to I kind of get kind of supportive. I don't want to put them bad on it because at first I had to kind of prove to that show that I wanted to do this to make it my life because they're like an old tradition, you know. It's like you graduate, you get a job, you live the regular life, and then so far I yada. But for me though, I had a different path. I wanted to be a musician. I wanted to like rock out and do all this stuff, go on the road, and actually play music and see the world. That's the main goal. I would love to be in the man, just go see the whole world and travel.
Yeah.
See how the whole world ticks. But at the time, they're telling me is don't get too your hopes up. If you don't make it, how many people try to make it, as well as trying to do something new and try to lead some new way. And I always mentioned, and I was like, okay, sure. Then over time, after I got good and started to see how I progressed, they don't really listen to it, but they just support me to where what makes me happy.
That's
So, moral of the story, our parents think we suck. So.
cool. No, that's okay. Do any of y'all have kids, or any of y'all parents? Are y'all parents? Do any of y'all have kids?
Danny boy.
Okay, you have kids.
I have a 1-year-old at home.
Okay, well that's a baby, but I have older kids. My oldest is 21 actually. He is very, very into music. He like self-taught himself to play instruments. Wanted to like move to California and be a rock star, and I'm like,
That's the dream, isn't it?
you know, like what up? Like what's your backup plan?
Right?
Like
what are you
what's
gonna do when you
your?
get out to California?
And that was his like, oh, I'm not good at. No, as parents, we love y'all. We think you're good enough, but it's like
You also gotta,
there's
Reel
so
that
many
in a
other
bit.
people that like are trying to do the exact same thing.
The
Like-
story of Welcome to the Jungle from Guns N' Roses.
Trying to like literally figure out how to get you guys out of Houston. Like, what does that look like? No, I mean seriously.
Welcome to Houston.
Have y'all gone to San Antonio yet?
I've been
Not
there,
for
I
a
haven't played
show.
there.
Not for a show.
But I've been trying to book, but no one's sending back emails.
Really?
Just
Damn
trying
it.
to find either band or two, or find a venue that will be willing to accept town bands.
Come on, San Antonio venues, get in my DMs.
Listen
WTF?
now.
Hey!
Seriously, I'm gonna start calling.
Mizaki is hungry.
Exactly.
Do you guys have merch? What are your thoughts on merch?
Well, as of right now, budgeting, money.
Like I said, I want to see a Kardashian wear our shirts, not knowing who we are. So
It's pretty much a lot of the stuff that we would like to hit. It does take time and money to put all in
Dude, it
efforts to it,
does.
especially because sometimes there's setbacks we do have most of the time. So we try not to stress so much on getting things done in time for like either for an event or something coming up. We always try to like get what we can at the moment and just work there. And then eventually, when we do have the access to get what we need, then we start making it happen. So for merch, playing it by ear, and hopefully, definitely.
It's baby steps, right? And a
Oh,
lot
yeah.
of bands like do their own stuff now. They're like DIYing it. You know what I mean, with like the heat presses and
We did
like
that.
the little.
We attempted to do that last year, I think, or was it the year before?
Almost 2 years ago.
When we tried to spray paint.
Oh yeah, we had it some
On our apartment, fucking, we're allowed to cuss, right? But yeah, on our apartment.
Like you're not getting your deposit back.
On our apartment, like porch and everything. Yeah, we're just like spray painting. I think we still have like spray paint residue and everything. on it, too.
some spray paint, Mark, for sure.
Yeah.
We got it all over our studio, like to let the
Yeah.
shirts dry.
We got a letter.
Not all of them came out great, but I think we managed to give away a couple of them.
Dude, that's fun though, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Just like, some fun memorabilia, like, hey, this is like a one of one, like type print. So,
Yeah, but we're eating them up though too.
yeah,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I would like to bring that back, but maybe with like,
The test shirt. Give it.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
like we're more experienced next time. Like,
There was
no,
a
it's
lot
fun.
Of,
It makes it unique and
a lot
stuff,
of paint
right?
on my nose for sure.
a lot of paint on your
Hey, you
fingers.
want to say?
You doing drugs, boy? No. No, I'm not. I'm just painting. Yeah.
It's paint, I swear.
It's paint. Put that shit in a handkerchief.
Dude, I love it, and it's cool because we were talking downstairs. So you guys have a place that you rehearse at near here,
Yeah.
which is cool. I didn't know all these places existed. It's so exciting.
We didn't know
this
those
place
places
existed.
Yeah.
I know, and it's so close to each other. I need
Jinx.
to come and check y'all
Damn
out.
Pass the hanky.
I know there's a spot downtown that I've been to once over by my warehouse live used to be.
Oh yeah, and then Texas Music Studio is off of like Provical, which is kind of on the outskirts of downtown. It's like right next to like Dope House Records or whatever, but it's really small.
Is it?
Yeah, there's maybe like 10 little spaces in there. It's
They're
not
probably
small.
always like.
Yeah,
Always. There's people that have been in
I
there
know what
for
you're
like
talking- It's like next door to like the dope house.
Yeah.
It's a very small.
yeah, and like people that have been there like
Next to it.
yeah, like they're never leaving.
Oh.
They're not letting go. Which I don't
What?
blame them.
He's like, wait, they're
Yeah.
it's like they're next to a dope house. What? It's so funny. I mean,
Not
it's near
trust that
downtown, so.
whatsoever.
Yeah.
Hell no. I'm not leaving my equipment that I spent like $4,000 on.
So could you guys go on a tour outside of Texas? Because I'm assuming everyone has day jobs, right? That's like,
Yeah. So that makes touring and
it makes it
traveling
hard,
out
probably,
for-
right?
Yeah.
I think for like our three line of work, I think that's possible because he's an Uber driver. I work at a restaurant, and he works for Upstage and everything.
Yeah.
Setting up. It's like they'd
Do
be.
like stage production for big shows and concerts. So
Yeah.
That's cool.
So
That's
like
what.
all kind of music adjacent.
That's cool.
Yeah. So like I think if we like asked them, they would understand. We would be able to have that opportunity.
Oh yeah.
That would be cool.
I think it really depends on the time of year for me. Like there is a certain point like in the year where concerts are more frequent and I'm kind of needed more often.
I would say probably like is wintertime a slow season for concerts?
Most
Maybe is
definitely.
like spring and summer more busy.
Yeah, like spring is when it starts coming back. Summer is always packed. There's shows like every weekend or every day depending on where you go. Yeah, but then like the more you get to like fall and winter months, it starts to kind of slow down a little bit.
So you don't need a gym membership because you're like lugging gear around all day.
Yeah, you could say that.
That's
I mean,
how
surely it
is
couldn't
for me.
hurt.
So I work in the restaurant industry too.
Yeah, seriously. I was in the
Man,
service
right
industry
here.
for like 20 something years, so
Yeah.
that's
I worked there for Lit though. I worked for Johnny Quiller at Monument when trying to get an EP mix and master at the same time with excitement while watching dishes. It was insane.
So what's the process look like for you guys when you're coming up with music?
I think it's mostly based on me because I come up with a riff and I was like, "Hey guys, check this out."
It always starts with a riff.
Yeah,
So-
right.
So you hear the sound before you have the words.
Usually takes a riff to like really start, or a melody or a sample.
Yeah, and so I'll come up with a riff and then it's like, y'all add on to this. What do you think? And then I'll add on to it more like as I have the riff.
Some-
And-
Sometimes what I like to do is like I'll go through my notepad and just go through like song title ideas that I have and like try to write something based off of that. Since I'm a guitar player, like I can come up with riffs too.
Yeah, and I'm not the sole like songwriter too. Like
Yes, like I contribute on that front as well.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So he's
That's
got
cool.
some work to do.
So it's definitely just teamwork. You guys just all collab
Absolutely,
on it,
yeah,
and
it's a team.
it's not like, oh, we're gonna do it this way. Like,
Yeah.
Not at all.
And the drums come in last.
And like we have like with our dynamic and everything, it's like we have like, give me your opinion, What do you
Yeah.
think? Yeah.
Well-
It's like no, it's my way.
I think it's probably key, right, for you guys to be able to like communicate. And most bands consider each other family because they spend so much time together. Is that kind of?
Absolutely.
Yeah, because what we our usually our best option, our best strategy is take care of the reality first before jumping into someone you love. Because the last thing I want to do is give someone shit for having a life while they're trying to keep their family or whatever stable while we're trying to do something.
Yeah.
So we always take care of bullshit first before coming back, and that's how really it sticks together, honestly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
we
cool.
gotta be patient with each other.
My way or the highway.
I love it. So do you guys go to shows and stuff when it's like you have time off? Is that something you guys?
We try that like so much. Like we love the scene. We're a part of the scene, so
yeah.
we try.
We try to work a lot.
Yeah.
Went to Local Mania last month.
Which I joined Bass for that too. I had a few friends of ours that did play, so it was nice.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool.
We got to play it last year, since we kind of fell silent there in the middle of the year. We didn't get invited back to play.
Aw, maybe next year.
Maybe next year.
Maybe next year.
We'll be busy this year.
Okay, let's talk about that. What's coming up this year? Are we allowed to talk about that?
Yeah, and hopefully by the time y'all do see it, it'll be up by then. We have a single coming out March 7th entitled "The Plague,"
Okay.
which is a single for like a B-side single, like to share with those that want to get a little taste of what's next come for our next EP, because we released an EP back in 2023. So 23, it was a part 2 EP entitled "Smile," part 1 Self Therapy, and we have another EP hopefully to come out this year entitled part 2 Be Nice to Idiocy.
That's cool.
And they both got 2 mates. It's a concept of a story, so I have to split them in two and just give people a listen of what we sound different when we do this, when we sound heavier. I want to give you 2 split worlds of like what John said. We can do it. We pretty much pull it off. And the plague is about people having a fascination or obsession with the world coming to an end. Just like how you see people on the streets with the end is near, preachers in the past preaching about apocalypse, and then when some disaster happens, everybody screams and panics.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, you want to ask him is, why'd you ask for it? Why'd you pray for it? So it's kind of like it's like a kind of funny when you mess with humanity, make people think a little bit deeper.
And we have a sick ass cover of "My Way or the Highway."
Interestingly, we wrote that song during. Didn't that start coming together during COVID?
Oh yeah,
It's so funny y'all wrote it during COVID.
That was like our reaction to it, like pissed off about everything.
I don't know. They said
So
like
it definitely kinda
quarantine,
channels
but
that
it's like
energy.
now we're sitting here in a room jamming together.
and
I was like, fuck that, or fuck that, or rebelling. Punk rock.
it took a sample to start it off. Actually,
Yeah.
I had a FL Studio, and I was messing with a program called Nexus, and there's like a bunch of keyboard sounds, a bunch of effects you want to play with it, which a lot of artists do. I found this one sound that just sounded like an alarm that just fit perfectly for what I'm trying to do. And then I had the drums later, then I had another sample under it, and that was my whole song for a second.
And there was another one. I was like, oh my god, the world's ending.
Pretty
Like,
much.
they're literally on one.
And during that time, everybody's going crazy, going chaotic. Then I've had some talk with certain people around that time that really pissed me off, and that kind of encouraged me, like, dude, get on the guitar, we're gonna write something. I would play the sample, give me something heavy. Give
He
me
literally drugged my ass out of bed. And I was like,
pretty much.
and I was like,
It's like time to work. Let's
Yeah.
go.
I actually wrote it within 2 days.
I'm like, leave me alone. I'm off at work and I'm getting paid for free. And he's like, no,
We
write me a
got work
song,
to
asshole."
do.
I had the Rick and Morty on his ass.
Yeah, literally. Drug me like by the ear. Like, I
Dude,
was-
COVID was crazy. So do you think that because this last year we did lose some venues closed, right?
Yeah.
Acadia closed. I think what concert?
R.I.P.
House?
Acadia.
Yeah, there's a couple
R.I.P.
places that closed.
That's in paradise.
Do you think it's still from COVID or?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Although I think
probably-
more has to do with the live music landscape changing.
That too, yeah. Like a lot of like places, like there was like a lot more neighborhoods and everything, like more noise complaints. But that I can think of that too, like because of business wise and everything, they like lost a lot of like profits and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially where because they have to rely on the nationals to actually bring a crowd in to fill them up because you can only do so much with locals to bring people in.
So that's my next question too. Like, it's so I for the last 3 years I have a candle business. That's what like ended up starting this podcast actually. So I go to a lot of shows. I've been to a lot of shows, and it seems like in for sure the last 3 years, the number of people going to shows does not seem as many, right? And I've been to some shows where it's like really like killer bands, and there's like 10
Like, if
people
you
or
went
something.
to-
You know what I mean? And I'm like,
If you went and saw that same band 5 or 10 years ago, that room probably would have been packed out, right?
yeah. So
It's just they're all separated, scattered everywhere, so it's hard to really keep up with all the venues. You just got some in the northwest, around northeast, the south.
is that you think that's what it is? How scattered or how spaced out
That's
Houston
what- that's
is,
what-
right?
Like
Because
Houston for sure. but
BFE
yeah.
is very far from.
Oh, yeah. And
Scout
we
bar.
didn't show about Pasadena, so that's a bit of a drive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I loathe that drive. No offense, Thomas and everyone at Scout, but and I love vending there. But like I live on the east side, so dude, it's like
Or like going up to 19th hole.
it's so far.
They have like a few venues like near downtown, which is the End, Trip 6, and they're kind of hard to kind of for us to get into because everyone's always booking up on there.
That's where a lot of the nationals seem to be going.
Really? Hmm.
Yeah, so I guess that's
Those smaller, like I guess,
And eventually, once nationals start coming in, they'll start picking up with more nationals and less on locals, and then kind of like defeats the purpose with some venues. So that's why most of the artists they've been doing a lot of DIYs themselves, finding a place, book it, pay a little bit of deposit, get some people out, and make a show happen. Because no one's going to do it, you might as well do it yourself.
That and I think what also happens is like sometimes the openers will be friends with these bands and they'll invite them out, like knowing that they can draw a crowd. Like,
Yeah,
that's-
that kind of makes sense. Here's another question I've been asking lately. So the key like headliner spot, right? It's usually like the last spot. Is that the best spot to be playing in anymore?
I think it really depends.
It just,
like,
it just depends.
Yeah.
like was it your choice to be a headliner, or was it like,
What?
or were like,
Because it just seems I don't know that people aren't staying out like for,
Yeah, 'cause
for
they have, like,
entire
day
shows and stuff.
jobs.
Yeah, like and we're all old and stuff.
Yeah.
because even in my old band, like I definitely played a couple of shows that were, I guess, technically headliner spots, but it was just the real headliner was nice enough to let us play after them. Like,
You know, that's a fucking funny story. We played this one band. It was like a packed show, and we played after the headliner. It's like, all right, let's do this, man. And it was like a Christian like festival or something like that. We were a Christian band, and we were metal. And as soon as I started like checking my guitar and everything, I had distortion on. Like, everyone was like leaving.
Like,
nope.
They're like, nope, too much. It's
Yep.
too much.
Did someone
How did that happen? You guys were playing at a Christian festival?
Yeah, surprised, man. We weren't even a Christian band. It was the lead singer's friend's band or something like that. Or he like booked the show. Like, hey, you want on? Yeah, I guess.
Like,
Why
yeah,
not?
cool.
My old band
Yeah.
did the same thing like that at a Catholic church. We did like 3 songs, but we censored ourselves, and then we got 3 songs like, yeah, Stas and Doc, go. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we pretty much got free fit just for that.
But I was like the only guitar player that had distortion. And then as soon as it's like,
That's kind of surprising because like there was like a whole era of like Christian metalcore bands where like the only places that they were able to play were like churches that had like a free space.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Like the '90s, Christian bands were going hard.
Yeah,
Like-
those early, like late 90s, early 2000s.
I just want to know how we go from that to independent doom. How we go from Chris that guy.
I guess for when like Under Oath isn't heavy enough for somebody. Like,
I remember Rios put some independent doom into the car on the practice. We were just having fun with it, and after the song like Praise Jesus, they put Slayer Jesus Saves after that. Rebel.
Did you know when you were younger that you always wanted to be a musician?
absolutely. Like I don't want to say it runs in my blood or in my family or anything. My earliest exposure to it was probably from my cousin. He's a guitar player. Probably I don't want to say the only musically inclined person in my family, but definitely the first one that I was exposed to. And he was into like all the hard '90s stuff, like Marilyn Manson, Fear Factory, and Domingo. So like, I got a taste of that early on. When I was 13, I got my first guitar, and I guess I didn't really learn to play it right off the bat. I just wanted to learn how to rock first. So,
It's cool. How about you?
Kind of. My aunt was married to Willie Nelson. Connie Nelson, his second or third wife or something like that. So, like, I was like, oh. I have, like...
I love how he just breezes over that like it's no big deal. He's just like,
just casually name drop Willie Nelson.
Yeah,
Yeah. But I was like, no, like, music's always been in my family. But, like, my blood family, it's like, I'm the first musically inclined because I come from, like, a lot of artists and everything. But, like, that didn't really impress me when I was younger. I was like, yeah, cool. I was like, yeah, my uncle's Willie Nelson when I'm a kid in, like, recess or something like that. But, like, music really didn't hit me till, like, I turned into a teenager. Like, I heard, like, metal. Like, metal's always been there for me, too. But it's like, it didn't really hit me till I had that teenage angst. So, like, I was like, I'm angry. I need some kind of outlet. And then I heard Pantera, and I was like, yes, I want to play guitar.
Yep.
I heard his fucking...
It's like a rite of passage for any Texas guitar player.
Absolutely,
Singing
yep.
Pantera.
So, yeah, that's when I wanted to play music. Hearing Domination live in Russia. That's what did it for me.
Hell yeah.
Dude, I love it.
I think for me though, music didn't really hit me until I was in middle school. Belgium. Check it out. As a kid growing up, I've always wanted to be, when I was before that, was I wanted to be a scientist.
Really?
I've always liked to know how things tick, how the world works, or with chemicals or animals, or anything that again makes everything tick. But I guess when I got older, I was just like, because my sisters were always like playing like a lot of hip hop growing up, and then somehow I got into hearing Bone Thugs, which scared the shit out of my mom. Hysterical. But I do remember the day she cracked the cassette in half, and that didn't. I guess that's where I felt the cringe vibe for the first time. But fast forward to when I was in middle school, I remember going to Dave and this is the crazy part I got. You're gonna love this. I went to Dave and Buster's at the time, but it was called I think was it Dave and Buster's at the time? I'll call it for now. We were basically, they had like a bunch of video games all set up though, but there was this one video game that always caught my attention when I would be around. It was an MTV drumming game, where there was like a huge booth and you're on with your drum pads, you could drum to the beat of the song. What I would do is, before all that, I would like get like some clothes hangers and use the bed as like a drum set, use like a trash can as a snare, and a box like a floor tom. And then my mom was getting annoyed and told me to shut up, but that was funny. That kind of got me wanting to play drums and got me involved. And I had a friend of mine that would just listen to Sum 41 with me, Metallica, and then one day I was doing, hey, you want to start a band? Like, sure. Then begged for a family for a drum kit, and I'll start from there. But I started singing at first, self-taught, with no lessons or anything. Then the time drumming kicked in, I decided to mix both.
Can I take mine back? I wanted to be a neuroscientist before.
Really?
No.
Oh, I was like, damn, really?
Absolutely not.
I was like, look at y'all.
But
Holy
dude,
shit.
Yeah, we all wanted to be like fucking we were all wanted PhDs. Just like, nah, fuck
We were
that.
all like honor
We met in
students.
Harvard and we moved down here.
Imagine being a band as a scientist at the same time. It's
Yeah.
like
It's not unheard of.
like Jizza, for example. Wu-Tang.
Yeah, or Dexter from the Offspring. He's like a biochemist or something.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's intense.
The lead singer from.
I wanted to study astrology. I guess I said that correctly. I knew exactly what I did. I want to know what sign you are. I can see your personality.
Stop. Those people freak me out. Stop. Oh my God. Seriously. No offense to any of you that are into that watch my show. But like, I don't know how y'all.
You're all Geminis.
I don't know how y'all. I am a Gemini, actually. That's so funny. Most of my kids are too. Yeah. Yeah, too many.
I
Yeah.
studied it. I went
Yeah.
to school for it.
I don't know how they retain all of that knowledge and stuff. Like, I don't understand how they do it. It's crazy.
Okay, we're gonna go through horoscope racism now.
I'm gonna get canceled because we're talking about horoscopes.
I mean, if you judge me how I'm born, I can't control myself. Like, racist. I would say if you don't like cilantro, you're racist. If you don't like some taste of soap, it's okay. I'm just kidding.
I love
So
it. You see?
Total Leo.
So where do you guys get some of your inspiration from? Is it just all Pantera? Is that what inspires you
Not
guys?
completely.
Yeah.
Like, one of my biggest inspirations, like when I started playing guitar, was Nirvana. Like, I'm still in love with that band. And then over the years, like the deeper I got into guitar playing, I started to like understand theory a little bit more, and going back and applying that to some of these simpler songs. I guess it makes me like think of them in a different light. The Beatles are another one. Like I didn't get into them until much later. So, but yeah, those two are probably like my biggest inspirations. Like at least in the past few years. I've also been really into punk.
Yeah, and like when I first started, like it was like metal or nothing. It was like if it's not metal, fuck it sucks. But then like I kind of got older and I was like, it's kind of bland, or not bland. Like I'm still metal to the bone, but it's like my ears just kind of like I started aging and like, growing up and everything. It's like I like jazz, I like old school country, I like hip hop and everything. So I was like, kind of like.
I was gonna say your family probably thought you were like rebelling and stuff, right? Like,
not my dad, no, because my dad's pretty much the same way I am now. Like,
okay.
come on. Or like he showed me on to metal.
It's
But
like a
it
mini
was-
Johnny Boy.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm literally a junior. Yeah, but yeah, no, like he listened to everything too. He was metal to the bone, but like my teenage angst, like, no, if it's not Slayer or Pantera, it sucks. But then just one day I just matured. Hey, Conway Tweet actually sounds pretty good. Miles Davis sounds pretty good. You know,
Right.
A Tribe Called Quest. I dig it. Yeah. And then so I just had to mature.
it's like I had to grow up.
Yep.
Yeah,
Everyone's gotta grow up
Yeah.
sometimes.
My family grew up listening to hip hop, gangster hip hop. My sister introduced me to, and over the years, after I started listening to metal, she calls it devil music, and I always get like coming from someone that shows me Bone Thugs. But like I would like they would just play like Ice Cube, Snoop Dogg, a lot of West Coast, and
Oh my
then
goodness, all the old school stuff.
I
I love it.
Wu-Tang. And when I got older, I think at the age of I was starting getting into like a lot of rock when I was like 5 or 6. 311 was the first band, and crazy I saw Marilyn Manson at the age of 7, which was interesting. Didn't freak out or nothing. Heard Korn at the age of 9, which is also one of the reasons I have hair like this. I
Okay.
remember as being a kid looking at hair, I didn't even know what it was. It looked cool to me. Always wanted them, and I would hear families saying, "It's you don't want the people that wear that don't shower and everything else." I'm like, never mind. But over time,
They don't shower. Is that what you said?
That's what
people
people
tell me
think.
all the
That's
time.
what people think. Is like I've heard that is like when you have dreads and stuff. It's like
That's what my mom told me about
you're
it.
they don't like you can't wash it like.
But as my boss said when I won half hair, it's like as long as you take, as long as it's neat and clean, you're good. Okay. So it happened. So I thought this for about 10 years.
I love it.
But
He's like, I swear I shower. I swear.
but yeah, but it was Korn that got into it, but what really turned me into a metalhead was Metallica.
Okay.
I was listening, but the craziest story of it is I first heard a Metallica song through their album Saint Anger. And I know that's a record that not many people like, of course.
But you know what? We're gonna defend that record to the death.
That's-
Saint
Not
Anger
good
is a good
No,
album.
it's not.
Okay?
It is.
Like,
Them two, no.
It may not sound like the old shit, but hey, it brought a lot of new people in, and I think that's fine.
exactly. We were like,
We all can defend it, but I'm saying,
But-
for the record, that's what I'm saying.
But it got me introduced of knowing who Metallica is. The reason I liked it because it was like the progression, like the power to the song, the drive of it. That's all I cared about. I didn't really care about the structure more until I actually got older of it. But I would listen to their old records of Ride the Lightning, and that changed my life forever. And And I still jam Sanger to this day, even if the old record's still rocking out.
So now that you're grown and making music, does it give you more of a respect for other artists? Like when you look at like, you know, artists that have like multiple like albums or whatever, like
Or that have been around for a long time.
yeah, just like the amount of I guess hours and time that it takes to do that.
It's a lot of hard work. Like you really like when you step back and look at the bigger picture, it really like paints it in a different light. Like the amount of like, you know, time and effort that it takes to like, you know, put a song together and to record it and like write lyrics for it.
It's a long process,
promote
right?
it,
It's like
Absolutely.
and to go and play shows, like playing these songs night after night. Like I don't know how some bands have done it for so long, but especially like do multiple lineup changes. Like that blows my mind.
you think you're ever gonna get sick of a song?
Of any of
Because
our
you played,
songs?
yeah. Because you play it so much, so you're like, ugh.
I don't think so. Like I enjoy all the songs that we have.
Yeah.
If anything, like I would always like to be adding more songs to the set list. So like, you know, that way we're never growing stagnant. And, have a chance to grow tired.
Yeah.
And we're still writing new music up to this day. We even have more music on standby, but still writing up to it.
Yeah, like all these songs that we have that are about to come out in our EP have been in the works for a couple of years now. We've even like road tested them in a couple of shows, but we just haven't released them in any official capacity yet. So it always helps to have songs just ready to go. You know.
That's cool.
There's definitely a lot more in the work.
Yeah, we're looking ahead to like the next like few albums. Like,
Yay, y'all have that much stuff you could really
A lot of
just
songs
like.
we're really trying to push out.
a lot of
It's-
ideas.
Yeah.
Like I'll say that much.
Yeah. Just like the two EPs we have for so many years, we're just hungry and driven for newer material now. But at the same time, we don't want to rush it, so we always take our time with the songs. You don't want to
Right.
rush art.
I mean, you kind of can't, right?
Some has that.
You
Some
think
have
some
that.
people do.
Have that drive that can do it. It's usually if they have it out there. They have the ability to go and record immediately. They got the access. It's all about how much access you have to getting it all done. Just like for us for recording,
Because it's expensive, right? Like,
oh, yeah. That's what we try.
yeah,
to
I'm a
listen
small
pretty
business
much.
owner, so like I can only imagine.
I mean, it's a little bit easier nowadays than it probably was like in like the 70s and the 80s for bands.
Because technology, right? You guys
Yeah,
can kind of do it yourself, right?
Yeah.
Or
we have the means to like
figure it out,
in
not-
our rehearsal space.
you don't have to go to someone to it, right? Like in like the 60s and 70s,
Unless
you-
right?
Yeah,
You
you
really
have to go to, like, a
had to
specific
go.
studio. You didn't have to. You don't got to go to Hollywood to
Yeah.
record a big
You
album.
just have like a basic like Acer like laptop or something like that.
Yeah. Usually recording to me in studios now, to me though, it just felt like it's only really good if you're trying to do vocals or recording live drums.
Or if you're signed.
Or if you're fine.
Yeah.
How does that happen? Is that something that's easy to happen? Or how likely is that to happen for
Getting signed.
local bands? Yeah.
It's,
I will
think
say
it's a-
anything's possible.
Because I mean, are there smaller labels like back in the day it
Oh,
was like
yeah, I
Sony
mean-
and like
Yeah.
are there like
you got, the big
smaller
major labels,
labels that can sign local people and help promote you
Yeah,
guys?
like somebody can like just say it's like I have a label. Like,
There are, but I think at like the local level, they're more for like distribution deals, getting your
Yeah.
music out into like physical record stores across the nation.
Where can people find y'all's music? Are y'all everywhere?
You can find us on Spotify, Apple Music, Facebook, Instagram, anything that's available.
All social media. Y'all have a
All
TikTok?
socials.
Definitely, yeah.
Y'all have a TikTok?
Yeah, you can see me doing fun little dances and everything.
We have a couple of videos out on YouTube that we're super proud of.
Who does that for y'all? Is that like, wow, I couldn't even imagine. Like, okay, you have a song, now you have to come up with a video for it?
Yeah, so
Like, that's a whole, God, that's got to be a whole separate process in itself.
That's usually the handiwork of our good buddy Saul at Chiron Productions.
Yeah,
Okay,
Saul
cool.
Starner, he's has his own company that's just getting off the ground, and he's working with any local band that wants to work with him.
Okay, that's cool, dude. That's cool.
We love you, Saul.
Because I don't know, you know what I mean? I don't know if you like have friends that
Oh yeah,
help
definitely. Because
do
not
it
many
and
people
shit.
really
Like,
see it too often. So it's like to really make a community as something that everyone can be a part of. Just if you know someone close to do it, just make it happen.
So I would say, do you guys think networking is important when you guys are going to shows? Are you trying to make friends with like other bands and
Totally.
Definitely.
yeah?
I mean, we're all like a little awkward and shy, and probably won't like go up and talk to people first. At the very least,
Hey,
like
be
you know,
my like literally hit him that hard.
at
Hey,
the
be
very
my
least,
friend.
I can be like, hey, I like your shirt.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And slap the hell out of him. Hey, I like your shirt.
I guess it's like when they play a good set, it's like your one way to introduce yourself. Hey, good show, man. You try to like open up a conversation.
That's the hard one
Good
for me.
show, dude.
Is it
Like-
hard? I mean, some people it's like a lot of people have come on here that are super like don't have a problem walking up to a stranger and having a whole conversation, but a lot are very actually like introverted and have some like anxiety issues, and I'm like,
I feel like
okay,
that's
and you're
awkward
on
conversation.
stage, like.
I just feel like it had to kind of come back with
Shit.
COVID because everyone was still trying to get out of that bubble ever since quarantine hit. So you have to relearn how to live
Engage
socially.
and stuff with people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, like for me, like I'm super introverted, but like, you know, before I go on stage, it's like I'm quitting the band, I'm quitting the band. It's like they literally have to drag me on stage.
Seriously, I asked that. Some people still do really get like really, really nervous before they go on stage.
I do, but like as soon as I know like the guitar's in tune, my gear's good, I can hit the first note, everything's good.
Everything
All right, we're rocking.
flies right there.
Yeah.
Is it
then I'm
kind of
good.
like muscle, like it just takes over? Like,
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
No, like because that's what I freak out about. It's like something's gonna mess up with my gear, my guitar's gonna be out of tune.
It's like that weird feeling in your chest, like you're
Yeah.
ready, like you're at the starting line, just ready to be on the race. You worry like something tipped over, you're about to drop something before that one hit hits.
yeah.
Either if it's on a click to count, or you're on a riff, you're where you're slowing down or slowing up.
Yeah.
It's always that one note that helps it sets it off and try to be steady with.
Yeah. First note. That's like, all right, I'm ready to go.
That's all it takes.
I'm good. I'm rocking that shit.
Like I can just play our intro immediately, just immediately get into mode, just be ready for
Get in the
battle.
zone.
dude, I love
Because
that.
you're on stage, it's like it's your own world,
Yeah.
and everybody's watching your world. Even though if you're doing something that's weird on stage, or you're rocking out so hard, you're throwing stuff up, or if you're puking, which no one hasn't done that yet.
Yeah.
But,
Yet. It's in the yet column.
but it's like it's like your own art show on stage.
He jinxed it now.
You can do two things. One, sit there like a dog and let everyone and try to impress people you should impress. The only person you should be impressing is yourself and your own art.
Mhm.
If people want to jump on it, let them. They don't, that's fine. Because at the end of the day, you make it for yourself. If people like what you hear, come along.
Yeah.
Dude, I love that.
If they don't, it wasn't for them.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good advice. I like that.
It's like being a superhero, honestly. You got ability, power, base skill.
With great power comes great responsibility.
I am Captain Guitaro.
I think,
Have you
Jesus
guys
said that.
have you guys met any, I hate to say weirdos, but like have you had any weird encounterings with fans at shows, or has everybody been pretty cool?
Everybody we know is pretty chill, honestly. Like,
We've only had you'll get a bit of chit chat from part of the scene. We've only had one band though that did that shit, but so far all that shit talking really got nowhere with that. But
Yeah.
as long as you
that
still
was
do what
like
you're doing,
instead of the Jiki Niki days. Like,
that was. But yeah, I'm just glad I'm not on the show with them yet. But
Yet
the
column.
problem is that it's like some people get this feeling like having egos kind of like driven the scene up, but it really kills the scene, honestly. Because we're all doing the same thing. We're all trying to have fun. Everyone try to play their songs, make new friends, have a good time. But you're always gonna have a few bands that would kind of want to push that away, try to start their own thing, but in the wrong way.
Yeah. We all work day jobs. Some of us live on our own. Some of us live with our mom and dads. So
yeah.
come on, man. Let's all get along.
Not everyone.
None of us live with our mom and dads.
He's like, wait a minute, none of us do. None of us
Right.
do.
But it's like, get along, man. Come on. We're a part of the scene.
Exactly.
Well, because it's like we really are supposed to be supporting each other, right? And
Absolutely.
we're like, support local music. Okay, well
Absolutely.
then.
I actually got to go out and do the work and be supportive. That means going to shows and buying merch and networking.
Seriously, go to shows, go to shows, go
Yeah.
to shows.
Jeez.
It's making me sad. I'm like venturing out and getting to go to some more shows lately, and I'm like, dude.
But yeah,
fuck.
you actually for those that actually come out and
Like,
go support local
shit.
bands for it, you will never see a bad show.
Yeah.
100%. Like
Any
all the
local
local
show
shows
can
I've
be a
gone
good
to have always been killer.
Dude, I saw a Dire Infernum last night, and I was like, seriously?
I've been-
I guess I've never seen
I've
them.
been
Like,
trying
I've
to see them.
interviewed them.
We played with our
at Black Standard when they were at Black Standard. We've been trying to see some of the new shows that we just never again have our tuning since we're on the southeast of Houston.
And I guess I'm usually always working too, so it's like,
Yeah.
I'm not, I guess I'm not really paying attention, right? So, like, I saw them last night, and I was like, okay, see, this is what frustrates me about the music scene.
yeah.
Because there are so many of y'all that are so good. I'm like, how do I get y'all the hell like out of Houston and like at least
Yeah,
making money or
Right,
something?
we'll
Oh
get
my
you
god!
everywhere, man.
Just gotta find someone that can really.
God, or making money or
just gotta find a
something.
leader that can pretty much represent all the bands.
Yeah, but no, it's like interesting. Like coming in here, we see like a bunch of posters of them.
Oh, it was really cool.
Yeah.
And honestly, I felt as soon as I saw, I immediately felt comfortable.
Dude, it's so chill, and that's what I try to tell people. I'm like, because most people have never been on a podcast before, and I'm like, it's literally just super chill. Like we're just
Not gonna
literally
lie, I
hanging
was
out for
"Great,
like an
leaving us
hour.
today, we're gonna harvest our organs. I swear there's a guy cooking meth over there.
I love it. He's like shady as shit. Like, where
We're
in
not,
the hell
we're not
are
playing
we?
Red Light and Green Light, are we?
Oh, look at the guns. Oh, look at the.
Oh gosh, I love it. Okay, so let's do what shows do we have coming up? We have the one in March 7th. That's your EP? Is that what your EP is?
Our single drops March 7th.
Okay, your single drops March 7th. Do we have any shows coming up?
We have two, like we have a couple that are on standby. We're just waiting for announcements. But during the months of this year, we're gonna be booking as much as possible during the year.
Okay, cool.
Try to get some stuff during the summer.
Yeah.
Like,
Yay.
Because we kind of took a break for a little while to like finish recording and everything, but now we're like full force. So it's like, come on.
Well, and there's a lot of bands that like play all the time, like 19th Hall or PFE, that are going into this
That
year
sounds like the last show we
trying to
did.
kind of take a break and not like
Yeah, not burn yourself
oversaturate,
out.
you know what I mean, and be doing stuff all the
Yeah,
so
that
hey.
is like a method of ours too. It's like our
not
show.
saturate the market with.
Yeah,
our
'cause-
show is like really important to us. Like we literally like give it our all.
Well, and if I know you guys are playing 3 times a month, like
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
catch the next one, you know what I mean?
Yeah, where's
like,
the incentive to go to come out to any given one and
yeah.
Yeah, like
then I'll
literally
see them next time.
my first band we used to play like
Which
every
sucks
weekend.
because like it's how you guys like make money and get your name out there, you know what I mean? But it's like shit.
Yeah, but it's
You
like
can spread them out. Yeah, it's
Kinda-
give people
you
a
gotta
chance in
savor it,
different
yeah.
parts of town to come see y'all.
Make the anticipation even better.
Y'all
you
should
say
do
no,
a
babe. I
festival.
have a headache.
I wasn't going to the festival actually. Like,
Y'all
We're
should do
not
a
playing
music
for
festival,
6
seriously.
months.
Someone needs to do that this summer.
there are definitely like enough good bands out here that we could put on like.
Dude,
like
I
an
think
all-day
it could
festival.
Oh,
totally
hell yeah.
be doable.
It's just that every band should also take a part in promoting as well, because most venues, because back in the day when venues actually cared for artists, they actually made flyers for them, but at the same time they're saying is, hey, I need you to promote as well. So they all have to work as a team. I mean, but now these days, over time, like in 2000s up to now, most people are eager to promote the show. And then most people's like, yeah, I made that one post. Don't worry about it.
Well,
and then most people don't follow that post.
I hear that a lot too, is that like a lot of venues will maybe do like, yeah, that one post or create like the little event page or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't even think people pay attention to those. I'm trying to figure that
That's
algorithm
what-
out with my
yeah.
business. I'm pretty sure people don't
Oh,
pay
yeah.
attention
And
to
there's
that.
ways you can able to promote a show without going to too much trouble with flyer making, because that does help as well.
Yeah,
But-
physical flyers.
Yeah,
actually
but you
passing
can,
them out.
apparently that can only do so much. So not many people look at paper flyers, because usually flyers will be like on their phone when they're scrolling through it. So you have to do two things: flyer for walking on foot, and you got flyers on the internet.
Do you think that would help though? Like back in the day, like how like street teams would go, like you come out of the mall and shit and have a little thing like in your window,
Yeah,
right?
oh, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you know what I mean?
Definitely.
do you think that like people even look at that shit now? Or are we just like,
It could be.
I would like to
Throw
think
it.
that they do. Like, if you put like an interesting enough flyer on my windshield, like there's a good chance like I'll at least hold on to it. You know?
Oh,
and like even if I don't go to the show, like I'll still look up the band.
Even street teams
Oh,
now.
We need
they're
like
actually
Kinko's
trying
or
get
Office
people
Max to start sponsoring the podcast, so we
Right.
can just start printing flyers for all the fans.
Staples, where are you at?
Let's go! Come on.
Yeah, because now these days you gotta give them something interesting like a street team because you don't really see street teamers.
Yeah,
for varsity.
you don't.
So if you kind of bring it now though, people might be interested, kind of like when you're selling a product.
I think people just don't like to put in the work, like that comes with being a street team. And
Yeah.
it's getting a lot of people on the same page to come together for one goal.
Well, then I think that just mostly be like high school kids.
Yeah.
Like back
Well,
in like those days.
And like social media is like, I see the pros and cons of it. Is it like oversaturated though? You know what I mean? Like
Absolutely.
so much stuff is
You just
going
have
on
to
in
know
Houston all the time.
strategies and new ideas to like come up with to get people's attention.
Yeah, to put yourself
So much stuff
put
going
yourself
on.
out there.
Because I did test out ad revenue at first though. It's all about how you're targeting your audience and who's willing to come check it out. If it's either a show or your music. And most people say like doing ads like doesn't really work though, but only if you don't know what you're doing. But you can always word of mouth always works. Flyers in hand always work. QR codes always work as well. And for me as an Uber driver, it's a great promotional tool for me. I would always like get a certain passenger that's like I'll put on like let's say like XM radio, throw something. Oh man, I love this. That's playing cool. Like so what do you do? I play the band. Oh really nice. Like guy show you the track. Oh sure. And I'll have my dash cam on, see the reaction. Then I'll play one. Like dude, like really. Sometimes I'll leave it silent, not mention nothing. And I'll see a kid rock out to me. I'll put my song on in secret. I would see this kid just rocking out, and I was like. Just so you know, that's my band. Really? I was looking on this app where the sound's going, but I couldn't find it up. Oh, that's me, dude. Really? So
They're trying to Shazam you from the back seat and they couldn't
now
find it.
get
And I
a QR
love
Or
it.
they hear it and it's like,
I
other
would
song
just
is good,
go
but then
and
they
get
hear
scan
our
it,
song.
and then they would follow
Can
me.
we turn this down?
Dude, that is freaking awesome. That's really, dude, you could have like, you should do like taxi cab confessions, but like introducing people to like your music and shit. Like you're dropping them off and you're like, hey, can you sign this release form?
Is it not?
You're like, can you sign this release form real quick? Like,
Well, me and Saul actually have some cool ideas that's involved with the music scene we want to put together, but we just gotta get enough people.
oh my god, I love it. Oh my god, it's making me tear up, dude. Laughing. I love it. Oh, I want to see video footage of people jamming out in the back of your Uber so hard.
And then,
I went to a restaurant once.
I would love to do that, but I'll have to save a few more videos to make that happen. But for all of them, I would have to censor everyone's face. It's the only things I can do.
I love it.
It's
I
like,
mean, like it's been long enough at this point; they wouldn't know.
I mean, I would see people on TikTok show like little camp dash cams. In Texas, it's legal to have a
what's
dash
the cool generation? By the way, we're Gen Z. We don't know what the hell taxi cab conventions is.
Oh yeah, shit.
We're
Sorry.
millennials. We should know what that. We're Gen Y.
Shut up.
Shut it, closet Gen Z.
Let's just say it was when like HBO was like,
We were at the tail of it, just getting the records.
yeah,
Because
HBO
somehow-
was the whole thing. Like,
HBO.
I just felt we get.
yeah,
I just felt we
like
get the crumbs of everything before everyone dipped. We get the crumbs of everything.
when infomercials still came on at like 3 o'clock in the morning and like wake you up if you fell asleep on the couch type shit. Like, back
Like,
in
literally,
back in those days, yeah.
I fell asleep watching South Park and The Daily Show, and wake up to Girls Gone Wild commercials.
But sometimes
they're like, boy, what are you watching? Yeah.
But
Yeah.
sometimes
There wasn't, I swear.
Why are your hands under the covers?
I love it. Oh
The
my
remote's
god.
under here.
I know I watch the Snoop's on there. That's all I care for. So it's
God,
not
the 90s, weren't they great? Jeez.
Good time.
Oh
good
my
times. Monica Lewinsky.
People are gonna go Google that now that watch this. They're like,
Yeah.
who?
But sometimes that during those commercials, they'll put like a Christian record commercial going on.
Really?
Oh my
Dude,
God.
children actually watch your program because I was saying Monica Lewinsky and Cigar.
This is Houston After Dark.
No, I mean,
Oh, yeah. We turned it into that.
yeah, I age restrict a lot of
Very,
these,
very.
so, I mean, you can lie, but still. Dude, this is so much fun.
Good.
Do y'all want to do shout outs to anybody?
Yeah.
Wives, girlfriends, kids, boyfriends? I don't know. I'm trying not to assume. Don't cancel. Whatever.
Shout out to the whole scene that's still kicking ass.
Shout out to my baby girl Rachel, who's at home, only a year old. Maybe she'll see this one day.
She's gonna Google you one day and be like, "Dad, what the heck?"
You had so much hair back then.
You're gonna be like, yeah, it's your fault. It's all gone. That's
Rock the skull, yeah. By all means. And mine, Bethany, trifling ass bitch, them kids ain't mine.
Contact Maury.
But
I'm kidding, cancel that.
He's
That was the heat of the moment.
But besides the scene, a good shout to my 8-year-old little pooch, Pomeranian Shih Tzu.
Oh, nice, nice.
He's like our band dog.
Y'all want another one? Because my dog just had 9 puppies. So.
Absolutely not.
Nah.
I wish I had room.
I already had to pay a
I've got 3
$250
cats.
deposit on rent with the dog, so he was expensive enough as it is.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a cat dad, too, by the way.
Oh yeah.
He just admitted it.
Aww. I love it. Okay, cool. So let's make sure to follow them on social media. I will make sure that I have all of y'all's like links and stuff in the bio
Mizaki TX.
when this gets posted. Eventually, you guys will also get played on Friday night at 8 p.m. on the Houston Collective because I have partnered with them, which is crazy. Can't even believe that's a thing. Yeah, so check out the Houston Collective for sure. Shout out to Joseph and Lucid Scream Studios for letting me film here and always dealing with my shenanigans. I love you guys so much. Thank you. So are you guys good? Anybody else? No?
I think we're solid.
We're good.
Yeah, you can say bye. You can wave. Yeah, I had fun with you guys. This was
We had
cool.
fun too.